Yeah, the light is okay. It's really interesting. Today, maybe time is still early. Now it's 7. 7 in the evening is still bright, while 10 in the evening is very dark. So sometimes I was crazy to sing at 10 o'clock in the evening. Then, of course, it was very dark and it's crazy. So I delete that later. But back to Tangshan. It was 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th of October 2019. So the 17th, 18th, I was in Tangshan and live in a very good big hotel by a lake. It's just like Ida Lake, and also it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's absolutely wonderful hotel. I must say that in China now there are really, really so many very, very splendid, good hotels. It's really very good hotel, and they have both Chinese and Western food in there, and all day round they serve. And I just wonder how they keep it business, but it's really so impressive. I was so impressive. Um, I feel it was really wonderful. And that make me feel sometimes I even miss the good old days, like in the 1990s when as a journalist, I go to South China, like Zhejiang or Jiangsu provinces. Usually you can work during the day, and in the evening you live in a small hotel in the city center. And after dinner, you just go out to have a look at the street, and you just yeah, have a look at the nightlife. You come closer to the ordinary people or business. But since 2012, when I first went to Zhejiang province, I found most of the time I was staying outside the city center. It's a new outside development area called a new development area. And in these areas, only business, and they don't have people. Very mostly big buildings, big hotels, big office, and only business. And it's far from the city center, far from the ordinary people. And this feeling continues, except in Xinjiang, actually. In Xinjiang, when I was in Urumqi, also, still, I live in the city center, and I can see the people in the city, how their life is, how the ordinary people is. And in the evening, I still can go out to have a look. And as soon as you get out of the hotel, you can just see the people and see the street and see everything. But in some areas, for example, this time in Qinhuangdao and in Beidahe and in Tangshan, I was in the big hotel, so difficult to see the people. You see the big business. I went to see the Shogun's iron and steel company, corporation, and it's very modern. And then we see the absolute wonderful robot, AI technology. They use a robot to work as a firefighter, fire brigade firefighter. It's a completely automatic robot. Just and some robot can talk, and it was very impressive, very, very impressive in Tangshan. And we even almost want to buy one if you only 5,000 yuan, like. And in Tangshan there was also, that Caofei Dian. It's by the beach, and It was similar, like how can I say, Hammarby in Stockholm. But in the end, due to the change of leadership and so on, so they only got a Hammarby idea. But I heard the project didn't go on. But I think in China, actually, they more or less already accept the Hammarby idea. So they make it an bio or bio, more biological biodiversity, and especially it is by the beach. So no worries about the water. And the water is blue, the sky is blue, and the house is just new. And yeah, so apparently you don't see the big difference between 草肥店 or Hammarby or this kind of. And of course, maybe the detailedly how the garbage was collected or how the wastewater was treated, maybe. I don't know exactly, but I see that big projects going on. But yeah, the city is just extremely beautiful. The streets is just so clean and new. It's so new. Yeah, I think when they talk about changing the leader was like the original leader thinking of building residential areas and so on. But the new leader put emphasis on the ocean transportation and make Tangshan a big port. And Tangshan indeed is by the sea, and it's a very advanced port. And they need iron and steel, iron core, and so on. So yeah, that's not wrong either. So they have both a very long history of industry iron, and they also have this modern idea to make it green. Last day we actually visit a garden area, and you see that it's like a sea of flowers. The whole area is flowers, but you can see that zigzagging up and down landscape. It was actually the past site of the old coal mine site. You know, in a coal mine, because it has 100 years history, later they actually sink, and by sinking they just form a new lake. And so with the lake area, they just make a beautiful lake and use the virtual technology and make films by the water. And so it's a wonderful night scene. But in the surrounding areas, they just plant all kinds of flowers. So the old coal mines actually reused as new area, so it become a garden and all kinds of flowers. And so if you see those flowers, then now I connect with the Tiananmen Square's flowers during July 1st. I feel no surprise because in Tiananmen Square you have just so many flowers. And then I think of this Tangshan coal mine area. They have the mountain of flowers. They have so vast areas of flowers. So it's correlated. So Beijing surrounding provinces, they just, Tangshan anyway is Hebei province, just surrounding Beijing. So Hebei province produce a lot of flowers and then support Beijing or supply to Beijing. So it's just a good business. And from Tangshan, we just take the bus to Great Wall. And from Great Wall, we went to Zhangjiakou. And in Zhangjiakou, there are then we see the high mountains, and the area is really mountainous areas, and it is really good for skiing. So we understand that it's why President Xi Jinping chose Jiangnakou as the Beijing Winter Olympics as a main site there, because it's so naturally accommodated the Olympic Games very well. In Zhangjiakou, in the old days, it is actually the Great Wall's border. When they dig up the area and they found Da Jingmen there, and they have a Chinese character called 大好河山. 大好河山, Da, big, 好, good, 河山, river and mountains. So very large and good river and mountains. It is a phrase praising China. China's rivers and mountains, just beautiful, just magnificent, just great. And the same there, in the ancient times, actually that's already the border with the Mongolians. So Mongolians came to China in the 13th century. They ruled China, right? But before that, Song Dynasty. In Song Dynasty, 900 or 10th century, Mongolians was outside. So we call that already the border. And in the border, they build a big wall. And with the big wall, they have a small gate. So outside, they have the sheep, the cow, horses, these animals trade. And then with other business, a certain amount of people are allowed to go in. And that gate only suitable for a cart and a person. And so the customs is very strict then. Yeah. And then inside the wall, there are a lot of business stands there. And they are recovering that. So in China, it's really interesting. You dig up anywhere, you will find out some civilizations. And it was really to our surprise. And that area, in fact, is quite high. And in October already it began to snow. Or in November it can snow a lot. And that landscape is exactly just good for the country or the jump, all these kind of skiing skills. So you can find whatever you want. And they already built a lot of hotels and restaurants, and the snow producing machines is there. Recently, I see it's Italian snow production machine. Anyway, they all prepared very well, and they designed, and so the preparation in Zhangjiakou 2 years ago, when I was there, they are almost done and all planned, and it is completed already in the beginning of this year. So Zhangjiakou is ready for the Olympics. Yeah, back to this Olympics, I just want to say that some people said, they want to boycott the Olympics. I don't understand these ideas actually. I think it's just crazy to contact the spouse with politics. And in fact, uh, China actually is wholeheartedly welcome the players of all different countries to come to Beijing and to Jiangnan and to have the Olympics. Sport is a game that that is good for the people and is good for our friendship. If people want to use the game to do something political, I don't think they will succeed anyway. I remember in 2008 when Beijing Summer Olympics was going to open, some people, small number of people also want to boycott or just do something like a hooligan. And they didn't succeed actually. So you do something like a hooligan and then you have a lot of police and just take you away. So I don't know what kind of drama it is. But in fact, at that time, I interviewed Prime Minister Reinfeldt, and he was against the boycott, and he think that whatever complaints you have with China, you should talk through dialogue, and I think that's a very good attitude. Actually, I create a website called China-Europe Dialogue now, and I think that's a platform to provide the players, different players from both China and Europe to talk with each other. And I like to publish different stories from both sides. Because this world is small, actually. It's a global, we live in a global village. It's not a slogan, it's a global village. Because now with all the technologies, we, for example, the nuclear weapons can wipe out this earth quickly, 100 times, hundreds times. So what's the use of competing with each other with this kind of idea? The best idea or method is still to talk, to negotiate, to have dialogue and understand each other and solve problems through the peaceful means. I think that's the right solution or direction for our future. Yeah, I think that's all for today. Goodbye.